Dr. Bullock, why is it important for APA to have a presence in international conferences such as this conference of the Inter-American Psychological Association?
Well, APA, as you know, is a very large organization, and APA and its members understand that being part of the world community is very, very important. It's especially important to be part of the community with our neighbors to the north and the south.
What would you say to our colleagues in the United States about the importance of attending these conferences and relating to international, or in this case, Latin American or Inter-American colleagues?
I think there is a world of psychology. We all know that psychology has been growing around the world very rapidly over the last number of decades. And the only way we'll really know that world of psychology is to go and meet it on its own grounds.
What motivates you to lead the international office of APA?
I've spent most of my life being an international psychologist, not necessarily at the beginning intentionally. I did research and worked in Germany and in Estonia, Canada, and the United States. And in doing that, I came to understand that there is a richness to our discipline that isn't always apparent if you just look at the literature and the textbooks in the United States. And the only way we're really going to understand that richness is to go out and find it. Becoming a truly international discipline requires effort on all of our parts. It requires effort from psychologists in the United States to think about understanding psychologies that offer in other languages and in other places, and searching out those places and literatures. It also requires effort from colleagues around the world to think about how to present their work in an international context and how to make contacts and collaborations. So I think my message is what we really need to do is find ways to meet each other, to talk with each other, and to share the richness of our discipline. Sometimes people ask, why does APA think that it's important to come here and sell books, as you will see behind me. And we like to be here for many reasons. One is that APA is a major publisher and has a lot of valuable information, but the other is this is a way to talk to people about interests. One of the really, really valuable things to me when I come to international conferences is to meet students, to look at posters, to see what students are thinking about, are working on, to hear their research projects, because they're incredibly rich, incredibly smart, and I'm really, really happy and gratified to see the future of our discipline that's growing so rapidly with so many people who are really well engaged. And at every conference that we go to, the students are the ones who have been organized to be volunteers, who meet guests, who guide them, who answer our endless questions, and who are of incredible help. But they're also the ones who are our guides to the future. So I'm speaking to you from the SIT meeting in Brasilia, Brazil. I've been coming to SIT meetings for the last 4 or 5 of the meetings, and I am so impressed when I come with the quality of research, the enthusiasm of students, and I think for Americans it's really important to understand that there is a world of research and psychology and phenomena and issues and explanations that we may not have very much access to. The only way we're going to have access to is to come to meetings outside the U.S. You know, in the United States, we talk a lot about multicultural competence. And when we talk about it and teach about it, we usually mean multicultural competence within our own culture. But of course, multicultural competence means going outside of your borders, outside of your zone of comfort, and learning about culture very broadly. One of the important things of going to international meetings is, of course, you learn about the science at the meetings, you learn about the psychology, but they're also taking place in another culture. So you also learn about the culture, the people from that culture, and how they think about the same issues that you might be thinking about. It's also been really clear in this meeting and in other meetings outside of the United States that we all approach some common problems with different perspectives. So I think we have a lot to teach each other. We can all be learning partners. And let me just give you one example. I was talking with several colleagues about violence. Violence prevention is now a large topic around the world, but different countries have had different experiences with violence, some through war, some through political unrest, some through individuals, and we all think about it in different ways. So wouldn't it be wonderful if we can get together and think of the best ideas, the best evidence, and the best approaches by looking internationally and cross-culturally. So if you are a U.S. psychologist, you might be wondering, why should I go to a SIP conference? One reason, of course, is you will go outside the U.S. and you will meet people who study the same things as you do, who care about what you care about, but who might have a different perspective. Another reason to go to a SIP conference is it really will take you outside your comfort zone. Unless you're fluent in Spanish, you will soon learn to become at least a little bit conversant in Spanish and in Portuguese and the many languages of SIP. English is, of course, one of them. So why go to SIP? Because it'll take you outside your comfort zone. You'll learn something new. And the other reason is it's a lot of fun. You'll meet wonderful friends, and they'll be friends that will stay with you. So I think in closing, I would like to say thank you to SIP. I'd like to say thank you to Brazil and the organizers for this conference in Brasilia, and especially to all the wonderful organizers, volunteers, and students. Hola.
Thank you so much. Obrigado.
Muito obrigada.